Welcome back to my golf YouTube channel, everyone. I am absolutely certain that you also have that one specific friend with a truly terrible golf swing. Someone who maybe even needs an emergency e-card. And yet, somehow, that guy still regularly and consistently outdrives you on the course. Or maybe it's a woman. That can definitely be the case too. And all this even though in the air, in other words, Carrie, you hit it 20 meters farther. Today is all about how you can finally manage to outdrive that one friend in the future. Because today is about how you can hit your driver a bit flatter. Today is about how you can reduce your backspin. And today is about how you can get significantly more roll in the future. The two crucial points today and also in the future are the angle of attack, the path of the club to the ball. And now please pay close attention, the dynamic loft, which is the angle of the club at impact. These 2 points are absolutely essential today if you really want to get a lot of roll. I'd like to start right away with a drive, one that's probably just like yours usually is. What do I mean by that? Today, I've set up my flight scope and I'm going to give you some concrete numbers. So drive number 1 is probably just like yours. That's your standard drive, I assume. Yes, a good hit down the middle, the fade, that slight left to right shot, but let's take a closer look at the numbers. I had a carry distance of 250.2 meters and a total shot length of 268.5 meters. With a club head speed of 110.8 miles per hour, I was able to hit the ball, as I said, that was 268.5 meters. To be honest, my backspin was relatively consistent high, and that's exactly what today is all about. I want to teach you how to get more than, as in my case just now, 18 meters of roll. And before I tell you what I have planned for you, I want to show you first. That means I really want to let the drive roll nicely now. That's roughly what I have in mind for you. Let's take a look at the numbers together again in a moment. I now had a carry distance of a bit less, namely 246.8 meters, and in total it was still 285.4 meters. And all of that was only in quotation marks because I reduced the spin rate. I now had 2,271 revolutions, backspin, and that's a value around 2,000, which I want to teach you. I want to show you how to get to a value around 2,000. Because with that, you'll be able to outdrive your friend in the future. With that, you'll outperform him, because then your ball will roll just as far as his ball. Only your ball already flies farther to begin with, a little farther in the air. So you'll drive farther than he does, and that's exactly the topic of today's video. And today it's all about angle of attack and dynamic loft, as already mentioned. What do I mean by angle of attack? The angle of attack is the path the club takes to the ball. How does my club swing toward the ball? It can swing from top to bottom, to put it simply. Then we're talking about a steep angle of attack. And it can, simply put, swing from bottom to top. And then we're talking about a shallower angle of attack. That's exactly what you need to reduce the spin rate. A key factor that influences the spin rate just as much as dynamic loft, which I'll discuss later, is the ball position. Because only if you hit the ball on the upswing with little loft are you able to reduce the spin. How does backspin basically occur on a drive like this? It results from the relationship between the angle of attack, that is how the ball is struck, how the club swings toward the ball. And again, now we're back to dynamic loft. Dynamic loft is a crucial piece of the puzzle when it comes to hitting the ball far. Nevertheless, I want to start with the angle of attack. Ball position is very important, and the ball should be positioned at the inside edge of the front foot. This is crucial for achieving a positive angle of attack. But even more important is positioning your body correctly, working with the right tilt with the correct amount of lean. And by tilt, I mean the following. I'd like to ask you, when you set up for a driver shot, to place your ball, as already mentioned, at the inside edge of your left foot, or under your left armpit. And furthermore, I'd like to ask you to try to keep your head really centered between your feet and push your hips as far toward the target as possible without moving your head. Because most people make the mistake of wanting to hit the ball on the upswing and simply tilt to the right. That would mean my swing center, my upper swing center, my breastbone, my sternum would be too far to the right, and that would cause me problems with the low points. That might make me come too much from the inside, and as a result, I wouldn't be able to hit the drive straight anymore. So always make sure that your head stays centered and only your pelvis shifts to the left, shifts toward the target. How far? As far as possible. The more you shift, the higher you will hit the ball. And that's exactly what you need if you want to hit a really long drive. And now, last but not least, we come to the magical topic of dynamic loft. It's about the loft at impact. My driver has 8.5 degrees. Yes, that's quite nice, but that's not the loft we're talking about. No, it's about how you attack the ball. Because I can hit the ball like this, and then my club has a lot of loft, a lot of spin. What will happen? I'll just hit it now. Now I'm going to intentionally hit the ball incorrectly. Watch this. That one goes super high, and to be honest, probably won't be a distance monster. Shall we take a look together? Let's look at the numbers again. I had 105 miles. Club head speed, 229 meters carry. 250 meters total, and a spin rate of 3,582 revolutions. And that's just way too much. And I can get the same carry distance, 229 meters. Let's remember that now. I might even dial it down a bit. But with less dynamic movement, watch what happens. It's much shorter in the air, much shorter in the air. But please take a look at the numbers now. I only had 1,200 revolutions. Spin, and with 118 meters carry. 118.7 meters carry. And I think every golfer can really do that. Every golfer can manage 118.7 meters carry. And with this carry distance and this low spin rate, I was able, with roll, and that's what it's about today, to hit the ball 228.6 meters. And that's a great number, isn't it? When it comes to driving, right? And I achieved all of this simply by reducing the dynamic loft. And to reduce the dynamic loft, you need a good arm structure. That means the right grip and the correct position of the arms. And in the end, of course, you also need shaft lean. Even with the driver, we want to lean the club slightly forward to reduce spin. Starting with the correct arm structure, you'll be able to really bring the spin down. As already shown, the ball will roll forever, and with that, you'll end up farther than your golf buddy, and that's extremely important. Always try to pay attention to having a good arm structure. Rotate your club 45 degrees inward, and then make sure that your left thumb, is pointing straight down, because with that, your grip and your arm are in a good position. Then, when you subsequently set the club back to straight at the bottom, by doing what? Exactly, by leaning it forward. This way, the end of the grip points towards your left pocket. And that's exactly how you want to hit the ball in the end. To reduce spin, to reduce height, to give it the maximum punch, to hit the ball as far as possible. For that, you need the right arm structure and the correct shaft line. Of course, one thing can still happen, that you lose this position as you approach impact. Yes, that happens from time to time as well. But then I simply ask you to try to incorporate the feeling that even at impact, the butt end of your grip is pointing at your left pocket. Because with that, you can hit your drive flatter and achieve the maximum end result, the maximum distance at the end of the day. Let's repeat once more. Rotate 45 degrees, left thumb straight up. Boom, left thumb is straight up. The right hand goes over, and on the club, I position it straight over the shaft. And that's exactly how I want to hit the ball. Look, it probably won't be 200 meters in the air, but just see how far the ball rolls. Okay, it will be 200 meters in the air because I hit it really well. But what happened with the numbers now? In the end, we had 2,213 revolutions. Backspin. It was 228 meters carry, and in total, it was immediately 270.8 meters. And that's exactly what you need if you want to drive really long in the future. So pay attention to a good setup, make sure you have the right ball position, and watch for the correct tilt. And as soon as you've done that, you can focus on the dynamic loft. It will be about the correct arm structure and making sure that the grip points toward the left pocket. Then you'll be able to drive farther than ever before. I promise you that. So to finish off, I want to hit a real bomb now. And before I do that, I want to remind you once again to please click the subscribe button and the bell right next to it, because that's the only way you'll get notified when a new video is online. So what can I really smash out of this device now? Now with proper alignment, over there is the green and it's all clear to fire. Yeah, unfortunately I hit it a bit on the inside. I'll give myself another shot right away. Nevertheless, I want to take a look at the numbers together with you right now. What did I get out of it? From the device, it was 116.6 miles club head speed, and it was a fantastic carry distance of 200 meters. So, to put it plainly, that was nothing special. Nevertheless, the spin rate was at 2,278 revolutions of backspin, and overall, it was still 255.6 meters. And you can see that perfectly in this example right here. With the right dynamic loft, with the right setup, even a mishit still goes 260 meters. And all of that measured on the flight scope. And personally, I think that's really, really cool. Now it would be nice if I could actually hit the ball. Yeah, that wasn't too bad for a nearly 40-year-old teaching pro. What numbers do we have? 112.8 miles clubhead speed, 264 meters total. That's not what I want to see. I would have liked to see a bit more there. It was exactly in the right direction. It was 224 meters carry, 264.5 meters total. Not a bad drive, but I actually want to break the 290 mark. Yeah, again, not a bad drive. The ball does drop off a bit at the end, probably at the expense of total distance. Nevertheless, you can clearly see that with a spin rate of 1,881 revolutions, I was able to hit the ball 280.7 meters with a carry distance of 237.4 meters. I'm not dissatisfied with that. Of course, as I said, 290 or 300 meters is actually my goal. But what can you do? That's just how it is. In closing, as always, I would like to sincerely thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as I mentioned. And for that, I'm going to really give it my all one more time. That one doesn't look so bad in the air, ladies and gentlemen. What kind of numbers am I getting? Once again, a spin rate of 2,211 revolutions, 284.4 meters total. As we all know, golf isn't a wish fulfillment show. I wish you a very pleasant evening and a great game.